What's going on, y'all, and welcome on in. Holy mama, the patch live stream. It's patch preview morning, guys, and there was so much content to talk about. My goodness, I'm sure you're going to see tidbits here and there even before you start watching this video. But if you didn't watch the entire live stream, there's just way too much to go over. So I need to break this up into two parts. I think in this one, let's talk about the 2 new heroes that are coming out. And then in the next video, I want to talk about all the other stuff besides the heroes, mainly the new summons and why you need to be saving your bookmarks big time. There's some huge changes that are about to be coming, and I want to give my own take on it, especially because I got a few, maybe advice on how you should tackle all this upcoming quality of life content, summons, everything. But let's go ahead and start this video talking about the 2 newest heroes, Hwayoung and I think it's Dark Carmen, Bad Cat Carmen, something like that. We'll check them out right now. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and get our first impressions out of the way, and let's start with Hwayoung. Fire Ken's master, apparently. We learned all about her. Now, I watched the live stream just maybe 30 minutes ago, but it was so much content, guys, that hit us. This is kind of just, as always, my really, really early first impression with you guys, so let's check it out together.
You can't accept it.
We'll probably skip through, that way we can focus more on the skills, but we'll watch the beginning here real fast. So she was previewed a while back, boys. Love her design. Female martial artist.
To exceed one's limit is impossible without exerting an
is impossible. I'm not sure about the the voice though. At least the English one. I might have to swap back to Japanese or Korean, but it's okay. Design wise, she looks amazing. I think she looks amazing. So that's the Korean voice actress, guys, and we will skip through that part real fast because she kind of just explains, her take on it. Cool stuff, but we want to know about the skills. Alright, boys. Let's go in. Damn, she looks good. Yeah, so there's some concept art here. Turn down the volume just a tad. Okay. So, pause. Fire Warrior Libra with effectiveness. I believe that's... Let's see if that's self-imprint or... Are they going to tell us here in a second? Still going over the lore real fast. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, team-wide effectiveness imprint with attack percent self-imprint. And she's gonna really want to attack, guys. Spoiler alert. Fire Warrior Libra. Very nice. Could potentially be a pull multiple units type of character. Alright, so here's the skill 2. This is a passive. Caster cannot trigger a critical hit. So think of a unit like Senya, and attack increases by 35%. Very, very nice. Damage suffered from a crit hit decreases by 30%, which is huge. I believe Archdemon Mercedes and Little Queen Charlotte have similar mechanics. And then, of course, guys, they have the more than one damage reduction effect is granted. Only the strongest effect is applied. That's always in play. Just remember, you can always stack 2 different types of damage reduction. Both the damage reduction like Hwayoung's passive here, and as well as a damage share. Think of a unit like artifact like Aureus. Okay, just always remember that damage reduction plus damage share. At the start of the battle, at the end of the turn, grants a barrier to the caster for 1 turn. So a single target FCC, Fallen Cecilia. Strength, barrier strength increases proportional to the caster's attack. Okay, so definitely seems like a. The barrier doesn't seem that strong, guys, but we need to see how much health she has, maybe. Oh no, I'm sorry. This scales off her attack, but I think we can still tell the barrier amount based on her health a little bit. All right, skill 3, Hwayoung, Emperor's Flaming Strike. After dispelling all debuffs from the caster, always good, boys. This is always super strong mechanic on skills. Attacks the enemy with a secret technique and grants immunity to caster for 2 turns. Okay, that's nice. So even if we build her slower, right, as a slower bruiser, we get to dispel all debuffs, including like unbuffable, blind, anything annoying, and then we give ourselves immunity for 2 turns, which is huge. Penetrates the target's defense, and when the target's max health is greater than the caster's max health, damage dealt increases proportional to the difference up to a maximum of 100%. So think of like straws. We see a lot of similarities in her skill 2 passive to like Senya, her damage reduction in the form of like Archdemon Mercedes and Little Queen Charlotte, and now we have a similar scaling mechanic to Strauss' skill 3. So wow, very, very, guys, I love her kit so far. She may not be like extremely meta since she is fire type, and those in the past have kind of struggled, but lately fire has been a lot better, and it's just so much to it. There's penetration. She doesn't have to build crit damage, or sorry, crit damage. So all y'all that are trying to build her up will have a lot easier time gearing, especially if you're newer. Self immunity, self cleanse, self barriers. Very nice so far. Tank busting abilities. We haven't even seen the skill 1. Grand Section Turn Sword Burn is always nice as well, but it's going to be dependent on the skill 1 effect, which I kind of forget already. I saw it earlier, but I don't remember exactly what it does. Animation-wise, though, she dashes at them, kicks Carmen in the face. Does a little, like, spinning flame kick and then a drop. So nice. About 20k, 19 point something to Crimson Armin there. Supersonic Kick, this is the skill 1. Attacks enemy with a kick, increasing combat readiness of caster. Always nice. When the caster is buffed, inflicts additional damage proportional to the caster's attack, regardless of whether the attack hits. Whoa! Okay, yeah, I think I saw chat, because I was kind of distracted when I was watching this. They were saying, like, anti-violet. Now I see why. This is good versus evasion units. Depending on how much the multipliers are, depending on how much attack we stack, not only can she tank bust, and by the way, guys, when she has defense penetration, not only will she be able to kill tanks, she'll just kill anything, really, right? And this now means she can also, regardless of hitting, destroy violets, remnant violets, any other evasion unit, if the damage is good enough, which it should be. I'm thinking very similar to Senya, and Senya is amazing versus those units. So super, super nice. And the fact that she gets self barriers, we'll have to see how survivable she is, because Senya, of course, is a knight. She's a little bit inherently tankier, and she has the anti-crit mechanic. But Hwayoung, if we build her with enough health, I think she'll be a super, super solid, self-survivable, tank busting, combat readiness, anti-evasion. Where do we end, boys? Slap her on lifesteal too to give him more sustain. Maybe it's probably gonna be lifesteal counter or speed set. Just whichever set you have best or whichever fits your playstyle the most. But man, I love her kit so far, guys. I think most players will be able to use her in some fashion or not. This is a very well designed hero. I don't know if I would say she's like super OP. Wait, that was actually... I can't tell because of the dual attack, but that looked pretty significant, the damage boost. Alright, let's check out the artifact. Indestructible Gators, which I believe is like the shin guard here. Gators is kind of a weird word, right? Increases attack by 10%, always good, so it gets a passive. And then if a non-critical hit is made when attacking with a single attack, has a 50% chance to burn. And unfortunately, guys, this is kind of the artifact you don't like to see, or I don't like to see that often, because this means that this will be 50% base at plus 15, or sorry, at level 1, and then at plus 15, it'll be 75% chance. So if you want to get the guaranteed burn, you're going to have to max out this artifact, which it's going to be tough for most players. The fact that she has attack self-imprint and she wants attack maybe might incentivize some of y'all to pull multiple copies. But unless you get insanely lucky in the summons, guys, I don't really think this is a must-have. It obviously synergizes really well with her kit, but just an artifact like Uberi's Tooth, maybe even Sigurd's Scythe. Draco Plate, I was thinking, but she already has inherent damage reduction, so it's kind of a little bit of a wasted secondary effect on the Draco Plate, so maybe not that. I don't think this is necessarily a must-have for her, but it could end up being possibly best in slot. I'm not sure. It's going to be hard to max this out, because unfortunately, she's not a limited hero. She's the attack imprint is nice, I guess, but it's just, that's whale territory, unfortunately, boys. So maybe at 75%, if y'all pick up 1 or 2 copies, 80, 85, it'll start feeling decent. But there might be other alternatives there that are just as good. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the Bad Cat Armin. This one should be much faster. Let's go ahead and look at Bad Cat Armin. Now, I did mention that Hwayoung seems like she'll be good for most y'all watching, even if you're beginner, even if you're endgame. She just has a kit that seems like she'll fit into most comps, and she'll have some kind of use, be it against tanks, be it against evasion units, even just as a self-sustaining kind of bruiser. But Bad Cat Armin, I saw a little bit of skills earlier. I have no clue, guys. You're gonna
learn, kitten.
Excuse me, that was really loud.
You and I are worlds apart.
What do y'all think about this English voice? The Hwayoung's English voice, not a big fan.
Of this show,
This one a little bit better.
the winner of this
Hopefully the
tournament
YouTube
is
volume
going
is
to
okay,
be
guys. Let me know.
me, 'cause I bought off all the judges.
I do know that the Korean voice actress, though, is really good. So I think we're gonna go in Korean voices soon. If you didn't know, you can change the voice packs on your game, guys. Okay, so yeah, there's just look at those really good expressions. But there's a few things I need to talk about that might be in the next video, guys. Talking about Moonlight 4 pities, okay? But let's go ahead and look and scroll forward and talk about her skills. Let's get through this one pretty fast. So I know a lot of people didn't think it was going to be Armin because the tail was different and everything. I think I also said that it wasn't going to be Armin. Guess like it was. Smile get through us for a loop. It is what it is. Same world from designer Lilibet top model Lulika and straws, I guess, because she's got that whole designer theme, right? Pretty cool. All right. Spoiler alert, guys. Her kit is so unique. I have no clue what to make of it. So those of you that play outside of the box, I think this is going to be a hero for y'all. I can't tell. It's just, enough talking. Let's go and look at her skills. So, Dark Warrior, attack, self-imprint, crit chance. Sorry, attack, team imprint, crit chance, self-imprint. Skill 2, Bad Cat Armin, catch him. After being attacked, has a 30% chance, so to increase critical hit damage of the foremost ally for 1 turn before making. So it's pretty much the same percentage chance as a counterattack, counter set. But on top of that, you get the increased crit hit damage, guys, which is very nice. And she's not the one that dual attacks, or excuse me, counterattacks. She has the foremost ally counterattacking. So I remember Mashu and Geguri were talking about maybe putting like Spectre Tenebri in the front, Apocalypse Ravi. Who knows? Spectre Tenebri in the front sounds insane. The only problem with that is we would need a way for our opponent to focus down Bad Cat Armin, so we would need like provokes, and I don't think she has a provoke in her kit, but we'll see here in a second. Otherwise, the only other way to proc that is through AoE, area of effect hits, and if you have a Spectre Tenebri or let's say a Landy, and you're fighting a heavy area of effect AoE opponent, that's not a good scenario for your, you don't want to pick Landy and Spectre Tenebri into that. So even though they were saying those might be nice, of course, because Landy's skill 1 is insane, Spectre Tenebri's skill 1 even more insane, some of the best skill 1s in the game. Unless you guys have a way to make sure the Bad Cat Armin is taking the hits, I don't think it's going to be that great. But we'll see. This is still super unique. The first one we've ever seen. So as we can see here against Charlotte's, you don't really want to have your Landy against a Charlotte, right? But at least in this scenario, Landy will get a crit damage buff plus her powerful skill 1 on top of maybe having her own counter set, guys. You could proc 2 counters, I believe. All right, so Bad Cat Armin skill 3. This is where she pulls out that whatever's on her back. A huge explosion before granting increased speed to the caster for 2 turns. I guess that's okay. And a barrier to all allies for 2 turns. So sort of a support skill. She does seem like a more support / utility style unit. Increased speed is always nice, I guess. And then barrier for all allies is good. It also apparently does some damage based on the caster's max health. Okay. I mean, not the most... This is a very underwhelming skill. It's AoE, it does damage, HP scaling damage, has a barrier and increased speed, but overall not really that impressive. If you compare it to another unit like Angel of Light Angelica, but I don't think anyone should be that strong, right guys? The reason I'm comparing the two though is because they're going to be bringing out Moonlight 4 Pities, which I'll discuss in the next video, but unless you get lucky enough to pull this character, guys, through random galaxy summons, the way you're going to have to get Moonlight 4s, I know it's going to sound good that you can now pity them, but I believe it's going to cost 110 Mystics if you're unlucky, and it will eat up your Mystic Pity. I'll double check on that because it's still kind of vague, but it sounds like it's going to take your whole Pity. We'll see, which is not that impressive for a unit like this. Alright, so the skill 1 has Injury. Damage, increased portions of max health, sure. Injury, of course, 5% every time the skill is used. And then when used on the caster's turn, so her own turn, which by the way she has speed up from her skill 3, changes into an attack that targets all enemies. So kind of like Bellion's skill 1 with injury set. So kind of cool. I just don't really know, guys, how well the kit's gonna work. Maybe injury Bellion in the front row with Bad Cat Armin sitting on the side, proccing the Bellion to do more injury. The thing is, though, with injury set, guys, you really need to be all in. I know there's a free arena set for injury. I know a lot of people are trying it out, and it still can be a viable mechanic on some heroes, but you really, really need to set yourself up to succeed with it. What does that mean? That means you need to play inherently tankier, because injury takes a while to kick in, right? If you can stack enough injury, you're most likely going to win the match, but the problem is it's a slow roll. So your opponent's going to be doing full damage on their normal skills, and you need to slowly build up the injury stack. So you have to build up tankier and tankier. And Bad Cat Armin kind of helps with that, with her barrier, speed up, and then she'll also help out injuries if you're doing like injury Bellion, maybe injury Seaside Bologna. I don't know. You guys could use other units, but it's really, it only works if we're talking about like Emperor Plus, Champion Plus, Legend. Injury is kind of not the best mechanic at the moment. I've only really seen it work on Bellion so far. So maybe that'll be a new addition to this kind of comp. But if you try to use her as a solo injury unit, I don't think it's going to work out too well, guys. Usually, unless you all in on it, it doesn't make the biggest difference. Let me double check, guys. I believe she is a warrior, correct? I think if she was a knight, she'd be a lot better. Yeah, she's a warrior, so she can't run Aureus or any other damage mitigation artifacts, unfortunately. But very unique kit. I think those of you that really like playing out of the box, like I mentioned, will have a lot of fun with this. And the counterattack mechanic is so new. I think those my counter players out there are going to have a lot of fun with her. All right. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. Watch the next video. I'll talk about the Moonlight 4 Pity, the Guilty Gear collab, the group summons, and any other stuff we might have missed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next video coming up very soon. Bye, guys.